Well, students, in last session I discussed about correcting typing mistakes, right? Now, in this session, I will discuss about format of Linux commands. Okay, how to write Linux commands. How which are the formats we should use? When should we give spaces? Where should not we give space? So like this, there is some format to give a Linux command or to execute a Linux command. Now we discussed that. Okay, so here uh, to study some Linux commands, let us go back to the bash shell. Okay, so bash shell will execute the Linux commands. So we in the bash shell we already seen some commands. Example, cal command, which is a calendar command. It will give the current month and year of a particular calendar. On depends on a system date. Okay, so for example, we are using a terminal. In that prompt terminal prompt, we write cal, we type cal and we press the enter key. Then it will display the calendar for the current month and year of the system date, right? So, and you can use it for to find how many Sundays are left in this month, like that. To find that, we can use cal command, which is a calendar command. Okay, another simple command is date command. Okay, so date command will display the current date and time, that is current system date and time. So using date command, we can also find date as well as the time. Okay, so here in Linux, when we say a date, we mean both date and time. So date and takshana we get both date and time. Okay, so which is why the output shown above includes the time as well. So ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆಡ್ನಸ್ಡೇ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 13 9:20 59 seconds IST 2019, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಬೋತ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್, ರೈಟ್? Okay, then here we should notice that the time zone is part of the output. Okay, this is significant when you are on a network spanning time zones. Okay, so another simple one word command is who command. Okay, who command, it will give some output, that is when you type who and you press the enter key, means it will give melu HTTYL February 13 8:41. Then melu pts that is /0 Feb 13 8:54, and promita gtty2 February 13 7:39. And this is the output we see when you type the who command. For that is it. This is my output of my Linux system. It tells me, that is, it tells us the name of the user currently logged in. ಯಾರು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ನೇಮ್ ನಮಗೆ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಹೂ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ದೇರ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಡೇಟ್ ದೇ ಲಾಗ್ಡ್ ಇನ್, ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಯೂಸರ್. ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ರೂಟ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ಏನೇ ಆದರೂ ನೀವು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸರ್. ಅದು ಯೂಸರ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮದು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂಸರ್ ನೇಮಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಯೂಸರ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ನೇಮ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೂ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ದ name of the user currently logged into the system. Okay, since you usually run the commands only when you are logged into the machine, ನೀವು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ನ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ that is who command will display the name of the user currently logged in. Okay, so when you entered into the machine only, you can execute the commands. Okay, there is another form of who command that you can now try it. Okay, so there is another form. Who command ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, it will give the name of the user currently logged into the machine with their that is date and time. Okay, so we having another command that is just it also acts like a who command, that is who am I. So who am I command will also gives the username and with their date and time, logged date and time. Okay, this time we have given the argument am I ಅನ್ನೋದು argument ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ to the actual command who. Okay, the who command ಗೆ we are given a argument am and I. The result is similar to that obtained earlier, but now you are the only user listed the number of the terminal and the date the user logged in. So previous command who ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಯಾರು ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ನೇಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೈಮ್ ಡೇಟು ಕೊಡ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿರೋ ಯೂಸರ್ ನೇಮು ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೇಟು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ರೈಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಹೂ ಆಮ್ ಐ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಹೂ ಆಮ್ ಐ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ನೀವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಹೂ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಜೊತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಯೂಸರ್ ಹೂ ಎಂಟರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟು ದ ಮಷಿನ್. ಅವ್ರ ಯೂಸರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿರೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಡೇಟು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ that is it will give the particular username with their time and date. Okay, so who logged in. Other users of the system at the time are not listed. ಬೇರೆ ಯೂಸರ್ದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, argument to the command are separated from the command by one or more space. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ who ಆದಮೇಲೆ we are giving some space, one space, and am we type and space I. Okay, so here we can give some space. ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮುಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಮೈಟ್ ಸೀನ್ ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ ಟು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಹೂ ಯು ಆರ್. Okay, but if the previous user has not terminated his session, you will find who it was by this command. So previous user terminate ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ಯೂಸರ್ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ನಾವು ಹೂ ಆಮ್ ಐ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂದ ಯಾರು ಇದು ಯೂಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಲಿನಕ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ದ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಯು. ಸೊ ಹೂ ಆಮ್ ಐ ಹೇಗಿದೆನೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಲಿನಕ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಅನದರ್ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ who are you. It will also represents the same thing. So whose user that is username ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, which user we entered his name and time and date it will represents. Okay, so who are you is also similar command of who am I. Okay, which is similar to who am I, but sounds much more intelligent. That is, you can enter more than one command. Okay, this is what who command. Then next we study about another format, that is we can enter the more than one command on the same line by separating the command from one another with a semicolon. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಂಪ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ವಿ ಎಂಟರ್ಡ್ CIL means it is a calendar command. For system date it will represents the particular month, it will display the particular month. Okay, similarly we given date command means it will display the date and time of a system date. Okay, then we entered who command means it will give the list of the users, that is who entered now their name and time, then date it will display. Similarly previous user who entered into that machine, then previous user's name, date and time also we can see in the who command. But who am I, it will display only the user who entered now, that is who entered now, his name and his date and time it will be displayed. Similarly we having a who are you, which is similar to who am I. Okay, so here we having another thing, that is we can execute more than one command in a single line. Okay, and that is we can give one or more commands on the same line by separating the command from one another with a semicolon. ಈಗ ಎರಡು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಈಚ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ separated by a semicolon. Example, we having a date command and who command. Date semicolon who we given means, and we press enter key means it will display date and time. After that it will display the who command output, that is who command, it will give the username and previous user who entered into the machine, his name and date and time, and similarly now entered user name and date and time it will display. Both the users are same means it will display same name, username, but time and date will be varied. Okay, here first command date is executed, after that who command will be executed. When you enter two commands at a time by separating the semicolon means the command are executed one after the other in the order they were specified on the command line. After the last command is over, you get the prompt again. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೂ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ ಅಥವಾ 3 ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸು ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನಿಂದ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಗೇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಂಪ್ಟಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಂಟೈನ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ it should not contain space, otherwise the different words of the argument would be interrupted as different argument by the computer. So we should not give space for the argument. Okay, sometimes we can give space, sometimes we should not give space. So here that is last example, who am I, we should not give space, but he told that one or more space we should give in the command, but the execution will done when you should not give space for the arguments. When you are giving space means you should put some quotes. Okay, so previous example I shown that it should be written in a single word, that is who am I, you should write in a single word. Okay, should not give space. Okay, in some situation we can give one or more space for the arguments. So main thing is you should remember that arguments of a command should not contain space, otherwise the different words of the argument would be interrupted as different argument by the computer. So there is some interruption will occur, otherwise it will give some error message. We given space in the arguments means, so why you should not give any space in the arguments. Okay, some situation will occur, in that case we should give space, so that time we should use semicolon. Okay, we should use quotes. Okay, if for some reason the argument needs to contain a space, you must enclose the argument in a double quotes or a single quotes. Suppose ನಮಗಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೊಡಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ we should use a double quotes or a single quotes, otherwise we should not use any space for the arguments. Okay, this is the format we should use when we are typing the commands in the Linux. Okay, most arguments to a commands are file name, options or expressions. ಪ್ರತಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸು ಫೈಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕುಡ್ ಅಕರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ and should be ascertained by examining the documentation for the other command. Okay, for that command. Okay, here we are giving some arguments, means it may be a file name or a options or a expressions. Okay, so that these are the arguments. When we writing a command, means we are using an arguments, means these arguments are nothing but a file name or a options or a expression. But in the last previous command I told who am I, which is which is a single word, does not have any space. Okay, here next we are seeing some examples. So in that we are using an arguments. These arguments may be a file name or a options or a expression. In that time we should give some space. Sometimes there is no space, means nothing will happen, but we should give some space, means that particular thing or expression should be in a quotes, single quotes or a double quotes we should use. Okay, if an argument itself contain quotes of one kind, you can enclose it in the quotes of the other kind. ಈಗ one kind ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸಿಂದ ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಒನ್ ಕೋಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೋಟು ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆದರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಎನಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕೋಟ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ double quotes or a single quotes. If an argument itself contain quotes of one kind, you can enclose it in the quote of the other kind. Okay, thus we having one example, that is we having a grep command, grep command. So that grep command which will work in the files. Okay, which works on files, that is it is a filter command. Okay, grep filter command, which is a filter, search a file for a particular pattern of characters and display all lines that contains that pattern. The pattern that is searched in the file is referred to as a regular expression. grep stand for global search for regular expression and printout. So this grep command is a filter which is search a file for a particular ಪ್ಯಾಟ್ರನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಒಂದೇನೋ ಪ್ಯಾಟ್ರನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ, ಈಗ ಲಿನಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫೈಲ್. ಆ ಫೈಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ನಾನು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಫೈಲ್ ನೇಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಲಿನಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ನ ಅದು ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೀಪ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್, -n ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ -i ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೀಪ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್, ಗ್ರೀಪ್ -n ಹರೀಶ್ ಮೇಲೂಸ್ salary, which is in double quotes, employee payroll. Here employee payroll is the file name. Look for the expression Hari Melu salary in the file employee and payroll and prints the line number of the lines in which the expression is found. Here -n, which will display the that is matched lines and their line number. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಹರೀಶ್ ಮೇಲು ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಕೋಟ್ expression should be matched in the employee payroll file. Okay, in that file we having a 3 lines. Hari Melu salary means that 3 lines will be displayed and it will give the number of line, that is it will give the line number also. Okay, display the matched lines and their line numbers it will display. Okay, that is -n means it will give the line which is matched with Hari Melu salary and it will also display the line number. Okay, so sometimes the bash shell places restrictions on the user of certain characters because it interrupts them in some special way. To use these characters in argument you have to use quotes. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹರೀಶ್ ಮೇಲು ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೋಡ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಕಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೈ ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೋಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಕೋಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಕೋಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟು ಅಕ್ಯುರೇಟಾಗಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ so we should give some space for the argument sometimes, and that particular expression or an argument needs some quotes, that is single quotes or a double quotes we should use here. Okay, so this is about format of the Linux commands. So here we saw some examples, that is we saw calendar command, date command, who command. We also seen who am I. So who am I is a single command, and which is similar to who are you command. Okay, so these are all commands you should work in lab also. These are all simple commands of the Linux. So similarly grep command, which is also command in your syllabus or in your lab syllabus, but that command will come after creating files. Okay, when you are studying files, in that time you can execute this grep command. So now you just work with date command, calendar command, and who command, who am I command. So these simple commands you learn now. Okay, so next we study on files, and in that time you can use this grep command and all. Okay, this is about format of Linux commands. Okay, using these formats you can write a commands. Next we study about changing your password. So in next session I will continue, that is I will discuss about changing your password. Before that I will give some questions, you note down that and answer to them. Okay, first questions on logging in for I already discussed in previous session, that is logging in. For that I will give some 4 questions, you answer to them. So write down that first one is, what happens if you type in your login name all in uppercase. Okay, so what happens if you type in your login name all in uppercase? First one. Second one, try logging in by using a friend's account. So try logging in by using a friend's account. Do not ask him for the password. Are you able to get the prompt? You check it. Okay, next, third question, try logging in using an account which does not exist on your system. Confirm this from your system administrator. Okay, is there any difference in the computer's response for that in the last exercise? Why do you think this is so? Okay, so try logging in using an account which does not exist in your system. Okay, what will happen? You write down the answer. Then try using your mouse just after logging in at the console when you are in text mode. What happens? Try using your mouse just after logging in at the console when you are in the text mode. You are not in the graphical mode, but you are using mouse. Okay, what happens? Are you able to perform any operations with the mouse? You should answer for these 4 questions. Next session I will continue. Okay, but in the next session I will give the questions on correcting typing mistakes, and now I did the format of Linux commands. For both I will give questions in the next session. Now you answer for these. Thank you.